Hey, good morning. Chuck here with Apple Drains. Today I'm taking you on an estimate. As you can kind of see what's going on and how we assess problems. We are inside a crawl space. We're here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Let's take a look at the problem. Okay, so we've come down in the crawl space and you can see here is what we call a core, and this is the exit drain for as water floods across the floor. This is actually too high, and it's the same in all homes, especially new homes. They need to put an exit drain in, so they do, and you can always find it because they put a piece of 6-inch with some gravel right there to help keep the debris out. But it just goes right outside and doesn't go anywhere. So again, when the groundwater fills up, it just backfills back into the crawl space. If we take a look, you can kind of see, you can see right away there's efflorescence here on the first course of block, and that tells you that there's water in the block, and you can see how wet it is. This crawl space is graded from the very front corner way back there. You can see the water comes down and it's supposed to drain right here. During an average rainfall it works great, but again, when the groundwater fills up, there's no place for the water to go. What's needed here is a sump pump. You could also add the footer pipe, and that's where we trench along the interior wall, and we dig down to the footer. We lay in gravel perforated pipe. Some people call that a French drain. We call it a footer pipe because it sits right on the footer. It leads over to a sump pump. Sump pump lifts it up, then we core right through the wall and send it outside. So a couple of things that you look for when you're going to look for water in your crawl space. Of course, this is very evident. You can see it right here. This is underneath of the vapor barrier. Just right away you know there's water. But other things to look for, you start looking up, look at joist, and you can see how that insulation is beginning to drop. That tells me that there's a lot of moisture even still rising up. This looks like a brand new vapor barrier, so it was probably just put down. And then you also look for that efflorescence on the wall, which is that white powdery substance I showed you earlier. Those are key things. If you see those things in your crawl space, you've got a water problem and you need to deal with it. Otherwise, in the future, this is a new house, but in the future, on these joists, especially on these engineered joists, is going to get mold and mildew on it very quickly. So out here on the exterior, things look really normal. This is all great. You can kind of see the swell between the homes here. I'll step back. It was quite wet there where I just stepped, but you can see there's a swell between this home that I'm standing at and the problem home. Downspouts, they're a key. These downspouts, they collect so much water off of that roof up there. They just come down. This water is going no place. It's trying to drain back here towards the golf course, and it's pretty well graded. But when that groundwater rises, all this water ends up right down in that crawl space. Let's walk around front real quick. Excuse me. Let's walk around front and see what's going on out here. You can see how muddy it is in front of this bed. Tremendous amounts of water coming from the street back towards the house. So as I look across the backyard, what I'm looking for is some type of pipe discharge. And if you notice, there's a big clump of grass right there, okay? I already stepped on that grass and it's soaking wet. There's also gravel right there. This is probably where the core of the crawl space discharges right to here. And it's just, again, dry wells, they don't work. Once water fills up in the ground, there's no place for that water to go. So it tries to come out of the crawl space, but it can't because there's no place for it to go. Crawl space is designed to have water run through it. And the reason that you have a crawl space is because you have utilities down here. And it's just a better place to put them rather than put them up above. They take up a lot of space. So we've got, the air conditioner, heat handling, as well as your plumbing, of course, is down here too. But if this floods, of course, this is thousands of dollars, and you definitely don't want to have to replace it. Hey, this is Chuck with Apple Drains, reminding you that if you believe you can do something, I guarantee you can do it. Have a great day.